Hello, and welcome to the Goddess Way Summit, where we're learning how to tap into our feminine powers to create a life of wealth, beauty, and pleasure. And today I have the absolute pleasure of being with Maya Fines, who is my Kundalini yoga hero. I've been doing her DVDs for years, and I love them. And I'm so honored to be with you. Maya is a mother, a musician, a composer, a yogi, and author of Yoga for Real Life. She is collaborating with amazing people such as Deepak Chopra, and she does events all over the world, retreats and yogic events. And I'm so happy to have her with me here to share her knowledge and to dive into how she's a complete goddess and self-love. So before we dive in, I'd love to say a prayer and anchor in the energies for us. Okay. So God, Goddess, please join us on this interview with your presence, with your love, your brilliance, your light, your joy, your infinite healing. Please allow us great clarity, insight, wisdom, and for the perfect unfolding. This or something even better for the highest good of all concerned. Okay, so Maya, thank you for being with us. Can you tell us more about your journey with Kundalini Yoga?
Right. Well, I always say to everybody, no matter what the reason is that you're embarking on this journey and you want to start Kundalini Yoga or any kind of yoga, really, it's about that the journey will take you to the right place. So if you start the journey just because you want to lose weight, or I hear that a lot, or you want to just become more muscly and define your body, and for whatever reason is that you're taking, because I took it for the reason of calming my nerves before the concert. I was a concert pianist and I was getting bigger places to play and Warner Brothers and all these big sign-ups, and everybody expects everything from you. And when you play piano for 2 hours, everybody's listening to just you. All the eyes are on you. And that is a huge pressure. I mean, wow. And then what happens is that at that moment, I actually go into kind of meditation because I don't hear anything. I mean, go into my bubble. I go into some kind of flow. And all I hear myself, the notes and breathing, this kind of stuff. And then I said, okay, I started from that reason to calm my nerves, and it worked. But then something else took over. So then the real journey started, because I was like, oh, wait, there is more to just calming the nerves. Now I was more curious. Now I wanted to know, where is this going? Where is this leading? Then I started having questions, where we come from. What is all this meditation about? Why do I feel that zone when I'm playing and nothing else matters? Nothing. I'm completely focused. Concentration, highly concentration. And then how does that happen when you are having a task and when you do something like music, like sport, you have to be really right there in that moment. And that is the pure form of being aligned with the source. And that's when my journey started, like, oh my God, now I want to know more. And then I started doing all sorts of different kinds of yoga. And I went to even capoeira, Wing Chun, martial arts. I mean, anything like that that I could get my hands on. And everything I hear, I was the first one to try. But I'm very much a curious person, and I have that kind of curiosity personality. And so I like to try everything myself and to prove it to myself, not just hearing, oh, something is good or is not good. I want to prove it to see what feels for me. And that's how I finally, actually, that was my last stop. Yeah. Somebody said, come to Kundalini Yoga. I said, what is this? And somebody joked, oh, I couldn't even remember the name. And they said, oh, it rhymes with linguini. Oh, yeah, right, okay. So that's what it was. And the first class, I described this very well in my book. He was astonishing. I was like, what is all these turbans and these white robes? And the sound was amazing though. And then everything in that one class that happened was weird. And it still is. Yeah. in that one class, I had the sound, I had the meditation, the mantra, the breathing, the exercising, sweating. I mean, everything happened in that 1.5 hours. And I said, wow. And when I came out, I was like almost like a new person. Something shifted, even that one class. And I thought, oh, wow, I want to explore much more. And I went completely down into deeper and deeper into this. So that's where I'm now.
And I'm so grateful you did, because then your classes impacted me, and I totally benefit from Kundalini yoga as well. And it sounds like for you, yoga has given you the gifts of going inwards and connecting with flow and shifting your consciousness.
Absolutely. That's exactly what happens. So what I'm saying, whatever the reason is that you start yoga, then wait and see, something else will take over. Then the real reason will come up. And then you will know why, and whatever you need to learn, you get. Because everybody has a journey and different reasons, different challenges. So whatever's right for you from taking those classes, that's exactly what you can get.
Yeah, absolutely.
So actually Yogi Bhajan said, just begin, and then the rest is, history. Then the universe will take care. So you just need to start.
And isn't that one of the Aquarian philosophies that, when you start, the pressure comes off of yourself?
Yeah. And another thing that I really loved, the whole philosophy behind, Yogi Bhajan, is that as soon as you learn something, teach it. So immediately you learn something, teach it. The only way to learn something is just doing it, teaching it. So that's what I've been doing. As soon as I learn something, even from Tai Chi, any other different masters, immediately try it in the class and try it with people. And I feel the results and the benefits. Then other people tell me. So, and that's how it is. It's like we channel things, we are given this knowledge, and then we act upon it. So you have to act. It's not just receiving it. For me, I love that. As soon as I receive something, I immediately give it. So it comes and goes.
Yeah, that's so powerful.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, because very often people either don't have that in them, or they don't know about it. They receive the knowledge, but they then don't share it. And then that's not the point. The point of whole Aquarian age that we are now, it's about sharing, in all of us. And you look what's happening with the social media and with all the technology. It's all about sharing, and many people, the whole world can knows about something immediately, within instant. And that's the beauty. So there's good and bad about it, but let's talk about the good.
Exactly. That's a beautiful gift of the Aquarian age. For sure. Yeah. And what I love about you is how creative you are. Like, you're a musician, and in your DVDs, you do the music in your DVDs, and as well as you created something called Kunda Dance. And so what strikes me is how you access your creativity and then how you express it. So can you share some of your process and how you express your creativity?
Right. I just, like, as I said, I'm very curious, and I love learning. And everything could be, because now I started something called Mondays with Maya. You've seen it on the website, and it's becoming like a show now, because it's every Monday I report on something, because I'm so curious to go and talk to people, and I interview people on many different subjects. It could be many different fields of life, like yoga and wellness and music and fashion and art. And I love all of that. It's just anything that has to do with creative, I love. And I just like transfer it from one to another. It's almost like flows from one thing to another. So I started as a concert pianist, completely reinvented myself. Then I started fashion just because. Yeah. I started writing the music, and I made a CD, first CD, which was like complete mix of classical music and some kind of pop, and it was all mixed up. And then I started singing. Then I started making clothes for the people in my band. Wow. And then, I'm a fashion designer. Then I'm doing that. Then all of that kind of died out. I was like, oh, what am I going to do next? And my teacher, Shiv Sharan Singh, I love him. He is a numerologist, and he said to me, he looked at my numbers and he said, okay, you have to be a teacher. You have a master quality in your number. the double five. And I was like, what are you talking about? No, I'm not going to be teaching yoga. I'm just taking yoga for myself. No. He said, you're going to miss the train. You need to do this. And everything you've learned before, you can put it to this. I said, really? Oh my God. So anyway, I studied the teacher training course just for myself, not thinking that I'm going to teach. And yet that came out to be, actually, he was right. That was my calling. So what I'm saying is just finding different ways of approaching life and seeing it from different angles. So basically my eyes are really open and I see many different ways and different angles. And I like seeing things from different places. So it's not just looking at straight. I'm looking from this side and that side, and everything is possible. And every little opportunity is possibility. It can bring you something. And everybody you meet, it's your teacher. Something might come out. And that's how it's been my life. Whoever I meet, somebody will say, oh, let's do this, oh, let's do that. Now I'm doing this big concert, kind of like a Kunda dance. We'll talk about it a little bit more, but I was invited to teach in front of 6,000 people in Mexico City. And that all came out of a conversation with one person, with another person, and it all kind of came up just like that. But taking the opportunities, I always recognize it and I'm always open to it and I'm willing. And that are the qualities that you make your life grow and expand.
Yeah.
So you have to be willing, you have to be curious, you have to want it. You have to be like always wanting new and sparkling thing. It's like, oh, it's the new shine and the new sparkle. Everything is a sparkle to me. You see everybody, you talk to, it's a sparkle. I see everybody as a potential possibility and opportunity.
Oh, that is so beautiful. I love that. I want to repeat that. Everybody is a sparkle. I love that.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
exactly. When you were speaking, I was following that energy, and it seems that it's a very feminine way of approaching life because it's not so linear. It's like very flowing and like expanded, and you receive the opportunities that come to you, and then you act upon them.
Well, but you see, this is it now. The element that maybe people are missing, it's not just having the opportunities, but act upon it. So it's the feminine and the masculine. You see, this is all feminine to receive, and you're open and you're willing and you receive. But then if you don't act, nothing's going to happen.
Of course,
That's the important fact. You have to have the yin and yang. That's why we are all made up of both opposites. They attract each other. So you have to have that, but then also I'm going to act upon it. If you don't, then it's a nice idea.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the ideas you get in the shower. That's great.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I call them the shower ideas.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
that's
then
when it all happens.
Oh, you said that you see things from, it seemed like from a really like big angle, like, and you keep shifting your perspective. Can you give some insight into how?
Going back to my teacher again, Shiv Sharam Singh, I still remember that class, the zooming in, zooming out. You zoom in, you zoom out. So when you zoom out, you see it from the whole perspective, the godly perspective. You see the whole picture, the big picture. But then that's not good enough just to see the big picture, just like the yin and yang we were talking. Yeah. Then you zoom in, and then you work the details and act upon whatever that big picture was. Right. So you see again, the in and out, the flow of the universe is always ebb and flow. Yeah, it's always expanding, shrinking, expanding, shrinking. The breathing, inhale, exhale, So all of this, it has to flow, everything in life. So we have to accept and recognize and act upon that flow in order to come together.
Right.
So it's exactly zooming out and but zooming in. It's as important as zooming out. Because very often people can get like, oh, I just see the bigger picture. That's great. That's very kind of new agey, bigger picture. Yeah, wonderful. But if you don't see the detail and how to do it, then the bigger picture becomes and stays a big picture, and then nothing else really manifests. So it's about manifesting. And how we manifest is to connect the centers. The big centers of a manifestation is the third chakra, where we have all the 72,000 nerves, and also the pituitary gland, the sixth chakra. So these two chakras have to correspond and work together. Once they're together and aligned, then you manifest everything. So you have to clear the obstacles and anything messiness that is in the navel chakra, right? Mm-hmm. And that's when the stress comes, and when we are insecure and all of that is like, you can't manifest things when you're in that flow. There is no flow. But then you can also be just in the head and just be beautifully kind of like meditation, and you can just meditate forever, but still nothing manifests because you're not connecting to the third center, to the third chakra. So only when those two start talking to each other, then the manifestation happens.
Absolutely. And it's so practical because it is literally the nature of life, like the yin and the yang, and the doing and the receiving.
And that's what I teach on my teacher training courses. I teach people practical things. That's why I call the course Yoga for Real Life. And it's like, how can yoga help me in real life? How can I bring all these tools, go through the challenges and expand? So that's why it's important to bring the practical element. And I'm all about practical and always mixing the spiritual, the practical. They always have to be together. You can't just be spiritual. You can't be just practical. So you have to link them. So that's my way. It's always linking and combining and just fusing. Yeah. And that's what I do. My music, awesome. I always fuse the music. My teachings, everything is about fusion.
Yeah. And you're a testament to that. You know, it's like you can feel that in your presence and in all of the beautiful things you offer in the world. So absolutely.
Thank you.
Definitely see that. Yeah. And you have such an aura of confidence. Does this come from yoga, or does this come from taking action?
Well, you know, it's a combination. It's never just one thing. I don't believe that it's only one thing. You know, it's always a combination of many things that suddenly click.
Yeah.
So it's always, of course, the confidence doesn't just come to me. I had to work on it. I constantly work on everything that it seems like it's all falling in my lap. It's not. Let's not kid ourselves. I'm not just like, oh, she's lucky. No. You have to work on constantly on everything, working on your relationship with yourself, with your kids, with your partner, with the nature, with animals, with students. I mean, constantly you have to learn, and communication, relationship, in everything you do in your life, you constantly have to do that. So yeah, it's one of those.
Yeah. So you do the work, and the confidence.
Do the work. It's constant. Like, confidence doesn't just come, and very often then you go down, and it's like confidence comes from the third center again. The navel, it's very complex. As we always talk about these 72,000 nerves, but very often the stress, what does to us, it's like stops the digestion in the food. That's why we have so many problems. And eating and all that, then you don't digest life properly. So everything happens from that center. So if we don't take care of that center, then you're going to have no confidence and self-esteem and all that. But if you clear that, then immediately the center is strong. It's our powerhouse, and you feel strong, you feel confident, and you feel like you can manifest anything, and that's the confidence you need. But it always comes from that. First thing when I see people, I always tell, if you're suffering from that, work on the navel. The navel center definitely have to be cleared.
Absolutely. And then with the clear navel center, you can access self-love even better.
Oh, yes. And another thing what I noticed, connecting the self-love and also menopause, and why some people are suffering and some people are not. It all again comes from the third center. If the third chakra, if people who all their life had a good digestion, they never had a problem with the stomach, they go through the menopause like this. They fly. They don't overweight. They don't have any problems, no sweating, nothing. And I've seen it. And because it's connected to the very strong kidneys and adrenals. But if that's shattered, then you're lost. Then you're going to go through every symptom out there possible. And that's exactly what I said. So I made a little video for the 40-year-old people who are not in the menopause yet, but of course at that age you don't want to listen to it. Oh, that's something that will happen later. But go about it, and if you're serious about it and take care of your kidneys and adrenals and your digestive system, then you will be flying. Then we'll be having the beautiful experience of that wisdom and power that you get as a woman. And so that is very interesting. And then also opening the heart and self-love, that has to come first. The third and the fourth center, the third and fourth chakra, constantly work on that, because then you have the confidence, then you open the heart for self-love, and then nothing can shake you up. You know, nobody can tell you you're not beautiful or you're old or anything like that, because otherwise you listen to that. You see, what your aura and what your psyche is listening to, it's where you're at. So if I start listening to negative things and think, oh my God, something in me must be very negative, must be very low esteem. Why am I picking up on this? Why am I listening to that? Instead of the positive things that it's all there, it's all mixed up. But what you listen, what you tune into, it's where you're at. So then you have to rewind and you go, okay, why am I listening to this? Mm-hmm. There is something in me. So let's fix that. Let's go into the fourth chakra. Why am I not self-loving? Why am I, not confident? Let's work on third, fourth chakra. And then you come out, oh, the same conversation, the same people, but you don't hear the negative. You hear the positive.
I love that. Like once you do the internal work, your vibration changes, and you're not even
vibration changes. It's all about what vibration. What are you vibrating on? What is your limit or no limit? Because then it's like, oh, you're all open and you're just like really receiving all this goodness that life can bring you. So it's like what you pay attention to, which wolf you're gonna feed.
Exactly. Yeah. And I know that it's a passion of yours to work with women in menopause, because I know, it can be such a challenging time, especially in our Western culture where, youth and like beauty. And how do you help women in menopause connect to the wise women and really embrace this time in their life?
Yes, well, that is my absolute forte, because I really want to help women. I mean, when I was younger and like teenage, my mother was going through this, but I had no idea, because those days nobody talked about consciousness or yoga or anything like that. So I wish I could have seen that and then help myself for when I come to this stage. But now there is hopefully more awareness, and so younger girls can take care of themselves. So it's really basically again going absolutely back into self-love, because you will be amazed how people come to the 50 years old and they still haven't grasped that. You can even miss the whole lifetime and not love yourself and not open your heart. And that is really sad, because why we're here, in my opinion, is to learn how to relate, how to open the heart. And we hear it all the time. It's such a cliche. It's all about love. It's all about love. Yes, it's all about love, but nobody knows really what. What is it all about love, right? All the songs are written, all the movies are made. Everything is about love. But what is it? So you have to go back in again, meditation, mantra, positions, breathing. It's absolutely number one. The first thing when I have private classes or students come to me with problem, first I tell them breathe, and I absolutely see everything through their breath. If you're a receiver, if you're a giver, if you're how confident, if you're not confident, everything shows, the breath shows me everything.
Oh, I'm intrigued. Can you tell us more about that?
Right. So, I mean, people who had my classes or have one-on-one with me, they can see that. I mean, they were so surprised. I was like, oh my God, you can say all of this. I can tell them all about themselves.
Yeah.
I describe who they are from the breathing. They was like, oh my God, are you psychic? No, I'm not. I can see it.
You just know the body and
the breath.
Yeah, the breath. Yeah.
Knowing the body and how nobody uses the breath properly. We don't really involve our whole triple woma, we call it in Chinese medicine. I mean, the lungs, the diaphragm, the navel, it all starts from there, and the lungs and the heart and the respiratory system, and all of this has to be activated. And that's what we do with Kundalini Yoga. It's activating all the centers that we call chakras. So with that breath and a specific position, the way we move while we're breathing, that's exactly what happens. We activate that own energy that we're all born with. Kundalini is the energy that we all have. We're all born with. It's like our signature from God, right? We all have it. Yeah. But how you use it or not, it's up to you what kind of life you're going to have. So it's like, hey, I give you everything, but if you discover your jewel, well done. If you haven't, then next time. That's how I think it's kind of like in my head. That's how I made the connection. But once we start organizing and all the centers starting to align with all the centers and combine and really put them all together and activate the centers, that's when it all happens. So then the Kundalini is rising. Then the Kundalini is like making you, instead of using 5% of your opportunities as a human being, you use 90%. Wow, that would be amazing, right? Exactly. And that's when you're open, that's when you're willing, that's when you pick up on a good vibe, that's when you pick up good opportunities, that's when you can be creative and do one thing to another, no matter what, you can do it all. And it's like people go, oh, how can you be this and how can you be that? You're conscious and you're altar and you're this. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
You tell me why not?
Yeah.
You can do it all.
Amazing.
Once you're open, you pick up anything.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to do to people, because, you know, it's such an old way of, I mean, our parents used to be, all my life, I remember they were just on one position. That was their work, and they never explore anything else. It's like, wow. Luckily, we are in the Aquarian age and we are open enough to realize that we can do much more than just stay and do one thing.
Yeah, we have so much freedom right now in this time, and Kundalini Yoga can help us be freer and access all the things that we desire.
Exactly. But then how do you use your freedom?
Yeah.
So out there too much, you don't know, like, oh my God, it's too much choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's what the internet is doing, because now it's too much information. And now what do you trust? Who do you believe? You go and Google something and all sorts of things come up. It's like, so which one is the truth one? So that's why you have to go in. That's why you have to do Kundalini and any yoga, anything that spiritual practice of your choice. Then you then discover yourself and you trust and you open your intuition, and that's the pituitary gland. And then you trust yourself. You will be guided to what information is true or not. Mm-hmm. Then you trust yourself. Stop asking yourself. And one of the teachers said, when you stop asking others, then you are on the right place. Then you are awakened. Because that's what it is. We always trust somebody else or the information on the YouTube or the internet is better than what I believe. But wait a minute, does that make me feel good? Wait, you're telling me to take this vitamin. Right. And everybody says it's great. And then I take it, but it doesn't make me feel good. So what? Oh no, they must be right. But you don't listen to your body. Your body is saying maybe it's right for other people, but it's not right for you. Right. So when do you draw the line, and when do you start feeling like confident that, oh, this is mine. I know this. This I believe, and that's what is good for me, and that's it. I don't care how else say it and how good it is for others. For me, it's not. That's it. You trust. That's when you need to get to. So that's why I said that the technology and having too much choice and too much freedom, that's amazing. But how do you use it? It's very important. So if you're all out there and trusting and believing everything and everybody, you're a mess. You need to come to that. How do you use that freedom and that choice is up to you. And that's only by going back inside you and trusting. Developing that, you have to develop that. It doesn't just come overnight.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey with trusting your own intuition?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's been such a journey. Of course, I was on that as well. I was on that path as well, believing, oh, I go from one healer to another healer and I try everything and oh, this is good and this is good and that's good. Oh, this is, and then I completely forget about asking myself, how do I feel? Mm-hmm. That's what my head is telling me. And I'm definitely a heady person. So I was like, whoa, all over the place. And I want to try everything and everything was good. But wait. And then when I started doing yoga and the Kundalini and going deeper and doing my mantras, doing my breathing and harmony, the sadhana, doing it first thing. I mean, for months and months and months, for years, I would wake up and do my sadhana because that gives you another whole opening and the trust and the belief, everything becomes clear. in those early morning hours.
Yeah. So I pulled a card for us for our interview, a goddess card from Doreen Virtue's deck. And what came up was Aphrodite, inner goddess. And this gorgeous image came up.
Ooh,
and
nice.
I love that for you, Maya. And it says, awaken the within you through dance, self-care, and appreciating your divinity. So I was saying that I found this card absolutely perfect for you. Because you created something called Kunda dance. So I would love for you to share that with our audience.
I start feeling like I want to dance. I want to feel all this energy through my body, standing up and so shaking and all this kind of stuff, because Yogi Bhajan has a lot of positions like that. And I thought, how can we go through the chakra, journey through the chakra, and but standing and dancing and having joy? And that's how it all came. I think I was kind of downloaded, because I don't know how I came up with this, how these things came to my, and slowly, it wasn't like, oh, this is how I need to form something. It wasn't, it was completely organically. I start little classes, like just movement and 10 minutes of that. And people will be like, oh my God, this is amazing, this is amazing. Then again, I will add something more, and slowly I will add something more. And it's been years and years that I've been doing it. And so finally it became like in a shape and form that we can actually call Kunda dance. And it becomes from Kundalini yoga. And I just shortened it and made it Kunda dance. And it is basically dancing through the chakras and aligning your chakras. And each movement is 7 minutes. And 7 chakras, so exact 49 minutes, you're done. You go through the chakras and you feel completely amazing and very high, because all the endorphins and dopamine and serotonin, all these good feel chemicals that we call them, get created. So you really feel like you can jump and fly. I mean, really, it's that kind of feeling. So I mean, you experienced it. You came the other night.
I went to the class a couple days ago, and I thought it was phenomenal. I absolutely loved it. I felt like so good, like so positive and charged up, and really like cleared out mentally and good physically. And I was a little sore, I'm not gonna lie.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, but it was a good workout, and I love that it had like kind of a little bit more aerobic component, and also like all the beauty of Kundalini, and the music was amazing.
Mantras, and we shout the mantras, and we breathe, and we dance, and we sweat. Oh my God, it has everything. Energizing, lifting, and gives you that confidence, actually.
Exactly.
Remember the 4th chakra, we did Tai Chi, I combined Qigong and Tai Chi, then all right, really the yin and the yang of the Kundalini being very strong and young, and then we put some Tai Chi and Qigong for yin. So again, that combination. I created the music, and it's in 5/8, and the 4/3/2. The healing also makes you energized and aligned. And every track I have some different yogi singing on it as well. So it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I absolutely recommend you all check out Kunda dance. It was phenomenal.
So I'm doing at the moment, I'm just at the moment I'm just creating the first generation ambassadors of the Kunda teacher training that I'm doing, and training teachers, so then many people can start, spreading the good love. It creates joy, and that's why I want to create lots of teachers, so then they can start teaching in their places and spreading the, planting the seed.
Movement. So we're ready. We're ready for that, for sure. Well, I know that our viewers are going to want to keep in touch with you and learn more from you. And can you tell us more about the free gift that you're so graciously offering them?
Right. So because this is all about self-love and opening the heart and the goddess within you, the confidence, all of this, it's through the 4th chakra, the heart. So my gift to all of you guys is to open the heart. Once that heart is open, you have the world. You own it. You feel so good about yourself. You have that inner peace. Then nothing can touch you. You have fun in your life. Yeah. So I think very, very important is to open the heart. So that's my gift, and I hope you're going to enjoy it.
Wonderful. I'm sure you will. Thank you so much for your time, Maya, and for spreading your love.
You're welcome.
And it was such a pleasure. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. And tune in next time for our next episode. Okay.
Fantastic.